Hello, I'm Vernon, aka the Profitable Punter, and not, as I was once mistaken as, to be Jeff Banks, the bookie. If I were Jeff Banks, the scarf would be cashmere. Or at least I think it would. I'm not so sure after this week at Cheltenham Festival so far. Jeff Banks took a bashing from punters with his offer of, I think it was 2-1 against Hurricane Fly to win. I only wish I'd kept the faith with the Fly at that stage as a single bet and bashed Jeff. Nice chap though he is. That's what bookies are there for, as I keep saying, for us to take him on. As we did in the first race, the very first race of this Cheltenham Festival, when Champagne Fever, tipped up by me to members the night before at price of 8-1 then. 8-1 I took. 5-1 by the time the race went off. It was second favourite to My Tent or Yours, and the lovable looking grey Champagne Fever held on under a great ride from Ruby Walsh as ever to win the very first race of the festival for Willie Mullins, and far from being their only win. And I was mainly attracted to Champagne Fever by not just how it looked and what it had done before, but what Willie Mullins said. We put up on the website, I put up on the website various stable tours filmed by Racing Post TV and such like, and I watched Willie Mullins, who is an honest individual, and I liked what he had to say about Champagne Fever. So 8-1 that was, got us off to a great start. Many punters got on the day, which I was pleased to see, because it really is, psychologically, it's good to get off to a good start at Cheltenham. Can an odds-on price be value? You bet it can, when it's Simon Sigg, which, yes, wasn't foot perfect, but wasn't awful by any stretch of the imagination. Simon Sigg, value at 4-6, or for those of you who signed up with a Boyle Sports account during the week and took their generous, foolish offer of 3-1, well, that was a very good bet either way. Most exciting finish in the first couple of days for me was Quevega coming home from a seemingly impossible position. I don't know how the mare did it. She is some individual. 5 times winner now at Cheltenham Festival, equaling Golden Miller. Ruby Walsh said at one stage during the race, like most of us watching, he didn't think she was going to get there. Suddenly the way cleared, and what a run. I mean, I was screaming at that one. Yes, it was only 8-11, best price 8-11 on the day. SP I think was 8-11, probably 4-6 the night before. But again, another case where, to my mind, an odds-on price can be value, because Quevega is all class. I was really happy with the win by the new one for the Twiston Davis yard. Pity Nigel couldn't watch it because he was on the loo at the time. But his young son Sam, great ride, and the new one for me epitomised what I've been on about all week and in the run up to the festival to members. Ask yourself this: have they done it at Cheltenham before? It's a pretty unique course, and that hill takes some getting. And every year at Cheltenham Festival, I'm looking for ones that have proved they can run well there, race well at Cheltenham, and ideally win. And the new one fitted that bill. Now, I said to members the night before, you know, leave it until it's 11-2, 6-1 if it went out to that price. And there's no shame, absolutely no shame at 11-2, 6-1 being on each way, hedging your bets in a race with that smaller field. Being paid out on the first 3 by the bookies, for sure. But there was also Tarquin de Soyet, which, you know, which John Joe O'Neill rather was very confident about, didn't deliver on the day, and the favourite Pont Alexandra, which, you know, I said to members the night before, the most likely to win from all accounts, but not a bet for me, and certainly not at the prices that it went off at. I just didn't think, you know, what it had done in Ireland meant a lot when it came to winning at Cheltenham. The Mullins yard did, Ruby Walsh did, but the new one had that crucial winning and good performance experience at Cheltenham, and I thought blitzed the rest apart, and I was delighted for the Twiston Davis yard, which has been under the cosh a bit of late. Wednesday's racing at Cheltenham Festival concluded with a bumper, and I suggested to members they get on with small stakes, a couple of Willie Mullins horses in that race at big prices, one of which was Briar Hill, and one for us, for members of VG Tips, at a SP price of 25-1. 25-1 for a Willie Mullins Ruby Walsh combination. with the week they'd already been having, that had to be a bet. Won by, I think, 7 lengths in the end. So watch out for Briar Hill in future, because don't forget, they trained Champagne Fever to win the bumper at the meeting last year. So who knows what might come from Briar Hill in the future. Lessons learned. Well, by the bookies, I think they'll think twice next year before offering such, on the face of it, generous promotional specials, such as Coral's offering evens on for a while on Sprinter Sacra, and Boyle Sports offering 3 to 1, I think it was, on Simon Sig for people signing up for an account. But they're no fools, the bookies. The promotional offers are there to suck you in. Okay, so you've had 20 quid on Sprinter Sacra, unless you're wise and you take those 20 quid winnings that you've got at evens straight out of the account, straight back into your bank, then there's always a danger you'll use that 20 quid to bet on something else, and something else, and something else after that. And that's what the bookies are relying on. Okay, new members, they're getting new people to sign up for new accounts, or they're getting you to take 20 quid in one hand or a tenner in one hand in the hope you give it back to them, and then you stay with them and bet with them more often. They're not, there's no such thing as a free lunch. And in my opinion, there's often no such thing as a free bet. So be cautious. Yes, those were great offers. I'm not knocking them. They were great offers. I think Corals have been hit for over $1 million for offering evens on Sprinter Sacra. But there's a method in their madness. There always is. It's always worth watching the stable tours that you see in the run-up to something like the Cheltenham Festival, often filmed by Racing Post TV or somebody or other. Often worth taking time to watch it 2 or 3 times to hear what the trainer has to say, and in some cases what they don't say about a certain horse. I always do that. Some trainers are more cautious than others. Some give away absolutely nothing. Some, whilst not telling porky pies, can be economical with the truth. It takes years to learn which trainer does which. Some are just straight as honest as the day is long. I think Paul Nicholls pretty much fits into that camp, and Willie Mullins certainly does. So it's always worth watching those stable tours, watching any interviews or reading any interviews with the trainers, and trying to see where they really think they have a winner at Cheltenham Festival. There simply isn't. It isn't the case that you have to bet in every race, nor should you, really, because that's what the bookie wants you to do. And I'm a big fan of not doing what the bookie wants you, the punter, to do. So there's no law that says you have to bet in every single race at any meeting, and certainly not at Cheltenham Festival, where the quality is superb, but it's ultra competitive. To bet in every race is pretty foolish, I think. Be selective with the selections. Ask yourself that old question: is the price now or tomorrow or whatever, is the price potentially in your favour, the favour of the punter and not the bookie? That's the question you've got to be asking yourself. And as I have written and said before, at Cheltenham Festival, ask yourself, has the horse done it at that course? It's a pretty unique course. It takes a bit of stamina to get up that hill. Ask yourself, have a look at what I've got to say at VG Tips, if you're a member, and you get the daily email, and you've got the access to the members only enclosure, of course, all for £10 a month. Have a look yourself, whatever. Has the horse performed well or won at Cheltenham in the past? If so, in my opinion, that horse has got an advantage over those who haven't. So far, so good. 5 winners, 2 odds on, 3 odds against, 8 to 1, 11 to 2, 25 to 1. That's great. To my mind, that's great. And I'm pleased, as ever. What pleases me most is when I get messages back on Twitter from the members who have won. It doesn't matter whether they bet £1 each way on Briar Hill or £2.50 each way on Briar Hill, which I think returned 83 quid or something like that. It doesn't matter whether it's 50p each way or 5 or 10 or whatever. Okay, only bet with sums you can afford to lose. That's the old motto, and it's a very true one. It doesn't matter how much you're ahead of the bookie. You've made profit. It doesn't matter if you've bet on a horse that's got placed at 8, 12 to 1, 14 to 1, 20 to 1 that comes third. You've made profit. Profit, profit, profit. That's what it's all about. So far so good at the Cheltenham Festival then. I'll be back at the end of it all to summarise the festival itself and crucially how members of VG Tips have done over the course of the 4 days. Okay, I speak to you at the end or before the start of day 3 and it really is so far so good for us all. We're well ahead of the bookie.